Hello, thank you for joining. This is Quarantunes for Concert Band. I'm Mr. Spur. Quarantunes, Quarantunes, we're stuck inside with Quarantunes. For today's lesson, we're going to begin with a breathing exercise. Then we'll move on to rhythmic sight reading. And then we're going to end the session by looking at a piece from the Standards of Excellence book. So for our breathing exercise, we're going to do something slightly different. I'd like you to hold an imaginary ball in your hand. We're going to take in 3 quick breaths, and then we're going to exhale and let the ball decompress as we let a long stream of air. It'll look something like this. So every single time you breathe in, the ball expands, but also your diaphragm should also expand as well. So here we go. I'll lead you in the breathing exercise. Breathe in. Take a second breath. Take in a bigger breath. And exhale. Let's try some rhythmic sight reading. So for this week's rhythmic exercises, we're going to focus more on 8th note rhythms and 8th note rests. So first we're going to count it cold. Next we're going to figure out how to count it. Then we'll count it one more time. And then finally we'll get to play this rhythm on our instrument. So here we go. Counting it cold. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 4. 1 and 2. 3 and 2 and 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4 and. Take a moment to pause the video, write down the rhythm, and now together we're going to figure out how to count this. Measure 1, we have a quarter note, 2 eighth notes, 8th rest, 8th note, and then a quarter note. All notes at the beginning of the measure are on beat 1. The quarter note takes up the whole beat. We move on to the next beat. That's beat 2. Since that's an eighth, there's 2 eighth notes. It goes 2 and. Then we have an 8th rest starting on beat 3, but that's a moment of silence. So the downbeat of 3 is silent. However, we have an 8th note right here. The and of 3 is still counted. That's the entire beat for 3. Then we move on to 4, which is a quarter note. Quarter note takes up the whole beat. Measure 2, we have 2 eighth notes, quarter note, 2 eighth notes, 8th rest, and a quarter note. All notes at the beginning of the measure are on beat 1. It starts with an 8th note, followed by another 8th note. 1 and 2 eighth notes fill up the entire beat. We move on to beat 2, it's a quarter note. That fills up the whole beat. We move on to the next beat. We have 2 eighth notes, that's 3 and. And then on beat 4, it starts with an 8th rest. So 4 is silent, but the end of 4 is not, because there's an 8th note. Moving on to measure 3, we have an 8th rest, 3 eighth notes, 2 quarter notes. All notes at the beginning of the measure are on beat 1, but because we have an 8th rest, 1 is actually silent. But we haven't finished the entire beat of 1 because we have another 8th note. That will be the and of 1. Then we'll move on to the 8th notes. On beat 2, it'll go 2 and. And then lastly, we have 2 more quarter notes. This quarter note takes up all of beat 3. This quarter note takes up all of beat 4. And then finally, we have the last measure. We have an 8th rest, 8th note, 2 quarters, and 2 more eighths. The 8th rest is on beat 1, but the 8th note is on the and of 1. The quarter note takes up all of beat 2. This quarter note takes all of beat 3. And then the 8th notes take up 4 and for beat 4. Let's try counting it again. 1, 2, ready, and count. 1, 2, and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 2, and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and. Now, set position. We're going to play this rhythm on a concert E flat. It should sound like this. So that would be C for saxes, and that would be F for B flat instruments. Here we go. 2 and 1, 2, ready, play. Let's take a look at standards of excellence. Okay, so here we are. Standards of excellence. We'll look at page 3, number 8, no looking back. So first we're going to count this rhythm. Second, we're going to say pitch names. Third, we'll finger along, say pitch names. And then lastly, we'll get to play. One change that we need to make, well, a couple changes we need to make with our pencils. Pencils out, please. Identify measure 2. We have dotted quarter, eighth, half rest, breath mark, color in that, or half note, color in that half note. Put in a quarter rest over the breath. Do the same thing for measure 4. Dotted quarter, eighth, half note, breath mark, color in the half note. Put in a quarter rest. And then for measure 6, we have dotted quarter, eighth note, quarter, quarter. The last quarter, we're going to turn that into an eighth note and then put an eighth rest there. So it'll look something like this. So eighth note, eighth rest. Okay? And then that should be all the changes we need to make for this exercise. We can now count it out. Here we are with the Met. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Make sure when you're counting this rhythm, you're also breathing where the breath marks are. Next, we're going to say pitch names with the metronome. C instruments, make sure we're paying attention to our B flats, E flats, A flats. B flat instruments, we have a B flat. And then saxophones, you don't have an F sharp, you have an F natural. All right, here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, A flat, G, F, B flat, F, G, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, B flat, A flat, G, A flat, G, F, E flat, F, G, F, E flat, A flat, G, A flat, G, F, E flat, D, E flat. Next, with instruments in our hands, we're going to finger along and say pitch names. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat, F, G, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, G, A flat, G, C, A flat, G, F, E flat, F, G, F, B flat, A flat, G, A flat, G, F, E flat, D, E flat. So even though I fumbled a little bit, I was still able to keep time and catch to see where the next measure began. So if you do mess up in the middle of the measure, just make sure you're keeping time and then shift your eyes towards the beginning of the next measure. Okay? Now the moment we've been waiting for, it's time to play it. Set position. Here we go. And good luck. 1, 2, ready, and play. Excellent. Make sure that time you're only focusing on pitch and rhythm. I'd like you to rewind, do that again. Now pay attention to the dynamic level. It's at mezzo forte. And then the articulation. We have a tie right there on beat 2 and beat 4 for measures 1, 3, 5, and 7. So make sure when you're saying that rhythm or playing it, it goes ta 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 ya ta 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 ya ta 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 ya ta 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 ya ta 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 ya ta 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 ya ta 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 ya ta 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 ya ta. Notice how I articulate the first eighth note and then I slur the second eighth note. Okay? You can actually rewind and actually play along with me as I sing that. Thank you very much for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or contact me on the contact page on the website. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time and stay safe out there.